So welcome to Tech 101. We do this on a regular basis. Marlene's really gracious about putting this together, so please check the website on a regular basis. Don't do what I did, which was just kind of quickly go through it, actually look at the events page, because they have more than just one event here in Hollywood Chamber, and they do a great job. Meanwhile, Ted, on the other hand, just comes to us with some great resumes, and I'm actually, it was so long, I had to kind of just like highlight, Bon Jovi and some others, but 20th Century Fox, entrepreneur and business speaker. We're really privileged to have, and I love the idea of a TED Talk. Anybody NPR oriented at TED Talks?
Yeah.
So we have our own version of TED Talks.
Right.
Ted, take it away.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to be here. And in fact, what I'm going to start with is saying, I get to be here. I'll say it again. I get to be here. And it's a really cool thing. And I think what I'm hoping is that by the end of my little 15-minute presentation, 20-minute presentation, that you guys all say, I get to be here as well. And what I'm pretty sure is that you're going to be smiling. So, my name is Ted Larkins. I'm the creator of the Get To Principle. And I'm also the author of a soon-to-be-released book called Get to Be Happy, Stories and Secrets to Loving the Shit Out of Life. Pardon the bad language. I'll tell you a little bit more about the book at the end, but the Get To Principle and the book Get to Be Happy are part of a movement that I'm bringing out that helps people find happiness. And even in challenging times, helps you find ease and peace. My goal here is to share the concept of the Get To Principle and have you directly experience it with me. So, you ready to get started? I think so. Awesome. So I thought I'd start with a brief introduction of myself. My name's Ted Larkins. I started in the licensing arena about 30 years ago. And I started in Japan when I was over there with my girlfriend, just traveling, bartending, teaching English. And 3 months after living there, she said, oh, let's go back to LA. And I said, sayonara, I'm going to stay. And I decided to look for a homestay to learn the Japanese language. I met a guy named Mr. Yoshida and his two kids, Eitaro and Kenji, and his wife Mitsuko. They had me in for 6 months to do a homestay to learn the language in exchange for teaching their kids English. About 3 months into the homestay, Yoshida knocked at my door, 10 o'clock at night on my bedroom door. I opened it. He said, we do big business. I said, sure, whatever that means. So come on in. He came in, sat down on the tatami mat, and he had a ripped piece of paper, and he said, I use James Dean on t-shirts. You call number. Now, he didn't speak English, obviously, and I didn't speak Japanese, and I said, whatever. So I picked up the phone, I called, a guy answered, I said, hi, my name's Ted, I'm in Japan, and a guy wants to use James Dean on t-shirts, can you help me? And the guy said, my name is Marcus Winslow, I'm James's cousin. He said, how much do you think you're gonna sell? I asked Yoshida, he wrote it down. I said, oh, about $100,000. Marcus said, look, so what I need you to do is pay 10% of that, it's called a royalty, and you send me a check and I'll send you some photos. So a couple days later, a contract arrived via fax. It was through CMG Worldwide, Mark Rossler and Beth Valley, who Laurent and I both know. And we signed the contract, we sent it back with a check. A few days later, some photos showed up, and Yoshida started making some photos of James Dean t-shirts. I'm sorry, making t-shirts with James Dean on it. Then he knocked on my door 3 weeks later and said, I want to do hats. James Dean hats? All right. So we added it, another $3,000. And so it went for a couple weeks. Every couple weeks, Yoshida would knock at my door and add more product. Over the next 6 years, we did over $80 million in James Dean product. Ski tote bags, snowboards, belts, buckles. I had prescription James Dean glasses. We did everything. We paid Marcus, James's cousin, over $4 million in royalties. So that was my introduction into the licensing world. My 6-month homestay with Yoshida turned into 6 years. We ended up being the agent for Pepsi Cola. With Pepsi Cola, we did nearly $500 million in sales. This is the 90s in Japan, which was very Americana. So it was really hot. It was happening with the success of those. In 1994, Paramount Pictures asked if we would be their agent. We started doing Top Gun t-shirts. We did an Audrey Hepburn, Roman Holiday stage play, $1 million deal in Tokyo. It was amazing as we kept doing these things. We did a Grace Kelly line of jewelry. We did an Audrey Hepburn line of apparel. We did Godfather wine, I think. We did a lot of things. And as that started to build, 20th Century Fox, Sony, MGM, DreamWorks, CBS, all came on, and we became one of the largest entertainment licensing companies in Asia throughout the 90s. So I happened to be at the right place at the right time. I was bartending, met a guy over the bar, moved in with him, and voila. During that time, I met John Bon Jovi. We did a slot machine for John over in Japan. This is me translating for him and the slot machine company. It was a multi-million-dollar deal. It was very exciting. We represented Celine Dion, did some things with Celine. I also represented Jack Nicklaus and oversaw his $160 million licensing program for Golden Bear. So that's what I did through the 90s and into the 2000s. And then 3 years ago, I was brought on here to head up licensing for DHX Media. And the DHX Media brands are Teletubbies, Inspector Gadget, some of those you guys know. We also represent Farah Merhi, who has an Instagram account called Inspire Me Home Decor, 4.4 million followers. We talked to Farah about a year ago. Alyssa was on my team there. And we said, hey, we'd like to bring Inspire Me Home Decor to market. You have an Instagram account for home decor, but let's make a brand. She agreed. I called QVC. We all went in. We made a presentation. They said, okay, come on and let's do some products. So we put together a line of product. On September 20th, just last month, Farah went on QVC for the first time. She sold over $750,000 in less than 24 hours of Inspire Me Home Decor, blankets, throws, pillows, all kinds of things. And so that brings you up to date to where I am today. So over the last year and a half, during my daily 4-hour train commute from Costa Mesa, 2 hours each way, I decided to write a book. And the book is Get to Be Happy and the Get To Principle, and I'm really pleased to bring it out to you guys here today. So let's get started. This is fun, you guys. I think you're really gonna enjoy this. All right, so let's start with saying the world is in turmoil. Now, that's not doomsday or being negative. It's just simply, look, we're in challenging times. The world's in challenging times. We're in challenging times. I could have put photos up here of the devastations from the hurricane or the fires or even close to home with the Las Vegas shootings, but I don't need to. We all know where we are, the state of things. But the reality is, the truth is, we've had challenging times forever. I remember back in the 60s in Columbus, Ohio, in Chicago where I was born, and then in Columbus with the Vietnam War and the riots and Nixon and Watergate. And my dad in the 70s in Ohio saying, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. It's terrible. It was terrible. We were having challenging times. And it might even be more challenging now. But the point is, we are having some challenging times. But I'm not here to change the world. What I am here to do is offer a viewpoint that you can look at the world in a different way and find happiness. So it's really exciting to do that. And what I have is a question for you. What if everything the future needs is given to you in this moment? Knowing that, what terms would you be on with life? What if everything the future needs is given to you in this moment? So how would you play your life? How would you be if it were unpleasant, if there were death or illness? So that's some of the questions that we're talking about. What if everything is waiting for you, suffering and pain, but joy and happiness? Let's see if this works there. May I encounter the perfect obstacles in my path. So this quote is the cornerstone of the Get To principle. Everything that comes to us is what it is. And more than that, it's what we need to experience. We're all here experiencing that right now. And finding peace within ourselves is the key to experiencing life like this. And it's easier than you might think. It's about being present. You see, life can be so fun in the present moment. But there are 4 distractions that keep us from being present. We have the future, we have the past, we have me, we have them. And with our attention on disappointments from the past and thinking about the future and thinking about ourselves and others, we often forget where we are. We're not here. I mean, some of us might be thinking about what you're having for lunch or the problem you might have had with your kids this morning. It's okay, it's what the mind does. But what can we do to bring ourselves more present? Can you think of a time when you were thinking of the past in the present and you weren't really here? And what effect does that have on your life? And along with being in the past and the future, we think a lot about ourselves, how we are being, how we portray ourselves to others. We're constantly arguing with life, like, did I say it right? Do I look okay? Was that a stupid thing to do? And we're also thinking about others. Like, what do they think about me? Why didn't they call me back? Oh, I don't give a crap about them anyway. The mind, constantly going. But there's a way out. Before I show you that, I have one more slide here, which it's a little deep, but I think you're going to love it. We are lived by powers we pretend to understand. We are lived by powers we pretend to understand. Life is unfolding right now. It's happening. And we can't know what life is except by experiencing it right now. The beauty is you don't need to pretend. It's happening right now and it's perfect. You'll know what to do when you get there now. See, there are no experts. Tony Robbins, Ellen, Oprah, Newt Gingrich, I don't know. There's no experts. They're just doing life right now just like we are. They're living it in the moment as best they can. What is the magic of what is right now. So if all this leaves your mind confused and head spinning, there is a way out. Are you ready? Chocolate. I promise there's a way out. So what I'd like to do is a quick little exercise with everybody, if you're okay with that. So I've got some chocolate. Jimmy, if you would take that and take that. So the small one is milk chocolate, 50% milk chocolate with almonds, and the other one is 70% dark chocolate. If you would each just take one piece, you can take pass a napkin around there.
One piece of each?
You can have one piece of each if you'd like. You can have 2 pieces of each if you like. I think we've got plenty. Just remember the small one has almonds. I don't want to do that. So as we're passing that around, what I'm going to do is ask you to put a piece of chocolate, either a bite or the whole piece, which is what I recommend, is put a piece of chocolate in your mouth. And what we're going to do is I'm going to set a timer for 20 seconds. And during that 20 seconds, what I'd like you to do is put the piece of chocolate in your mouth and just have your attention on that. Close your eyes and just have your attention on what's going on in your mouth. You might have thoughts that come in like, oh, what am I doing? This is silly. What are we doing? Who is this guy? Whatever. Let those go for this 20 seconds, okay? And while you're doing it, you get to smile, okay? So I want to make sure that everybody's got a piece of chocolate there.
It doesn't matter which one we put in our mouth.
It does not, no. Actually, Jason, there are really no rules. It's just
check.
no, but fair enough. That's a fair enough question. And I'm gonna take a piece of dark chocolate myself. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. And actually, I'm just going to count in my head. I've got the 20 seconds going. I've done this a bunch of times. And when you're ready, close your eyes and go. Okay. How was that? So what just happened? For those 20 seconds, you had an experience of tasting that in your mouth right now. No past, no future, no me and them. Congratulations. You just had a get-to moment. It's not a bad way to start a morning, having a piece of chocolate and a get-to moment. So what is get-to? It's a deliberate choice. It's moving from victim to power and staying in get-to situations. See, the future is a wild card, and there are challenges for sure and uncertainties, but the ability to come to the present moment, like you just did, is the key to being happy. You got to experience that. That's pretty cool. As a human being, that's pretty cool. So the ability to purposely come to the present is what the get-to principle is all about. It's simple, but it's very profound. I'm going to offer an exercise that I think will be incredible that you're going to be able to use today. But the basic premise of get-to is simply saying, I get to, instead of I have to. See, I have to is a feeling of being a victim. I have to do the dishes. I have to go to the store. I have to go to work. Even I gotta get a cup of coffee. It's like got desperation in it. Come on. But that's what we tend to do. We live in this state. Even right now, say out loud, I have to. Yeah, right? You feel that. It's like it's lacking inspiration. But when you shift and you say, I get to, you step into a power of great appreciation. I get to go to the store. I get to go to work. I get to pick up my kids. It's really brings a sense of power. Even I get to get a cup of coffee is really powerful. So I'm not saying that you don't have to do these things. You have to do the dishes or they pile up and they stink. You have to go to work. If you don't, you won't pay the bills. But the simple act of stepping into saying, I get to, changes your viewpoint on life and how you approach things. It's powerful, can have an incredible effect on your life. Now think of some of the highs and lows that you've had and how you can apply it. So for example, for me, and this hits home for me, when I say, I have to experience the loss of my mom. Well, you feel that. But when I said, I get to experience the loss of my mom, I all of a sudden had this great appreciation for the time I had with her. It was really powerful. So the get to principle and saying get to is an attitude toward life with sincere gratitude for whatever arises. It's inviting all that is happening in right now as it is. Now I have an exercise for you that, as I mentioned, will be fantastic. I've got one more slide. Why did you get up in the morning? Was it to get up and play with your Barbie doll or play with your truck or play with things? Was it full of, oh, I get to? Or was it kind of a dreaded, oh, I have to? And what about when you go to bed at night? Is it like, oh, I got to do so much today. Can't wait to go to sleep. Or was it, oh, just another day in life? See, when we were kids, it was all so new. But as we got older, things got more serious. Things have come up and we resist them. What changed that we went from get to have to? Getting up in the mornings and going to bed has lost their joy. The obstacles in daily life bring us down. Are you ready to change that? I think so. I am. And I'm going to share with you how to find joy in both these endeavors, going to bed, waking up, and everything in between. The practice is really cool. Are you ready? It's called the Get To mantra. Get to, smile, do it. So this is how it works. Instead of saying, I have to, in any given situation, you say, I get to. When you say I get to, your mind automatically has compassion for others that don't have what you have, and you automatically have great appreciation for what you do have. It's on a subconscious level, and you feel great gratitude for your life, even for doing the dishes. So look, today, over 20,000 people will die of starvation on the planet. We really can't comprehend that. But when you say, I get to, you automatically have compassion for that. And you also have great appreciation for what you have doing the dishes. It's not about feeling sorry, oh, I'm sorry, or boastful, oh, I get to. It's just sitting in great compassion and great appreciation. And then in that state, when you're quiet, and it's an automatic thing that happens when you say, I get to, when you smile, deliberately smile, endorphins are released in your body and you feel joy. And then when you do what you're going to do, you step into a feeling of power over your life. It's a magical process that if you use every day, it really changes your life. I say I get to probably 50 times, maybe 100 times a day. I don't say I have to anymore. I don't say I get to. In fact, the other day I was heading out and I said, oh, I got to get the kids. And I caught it, okay? I said, no, I get to get the kids. I get to pick up the kids. And I got in the car and I get to, and I smiled and I felt that. I felt subconsciously, but not so subconsciously, compassion for others that aren't getting to do that. You can think about some families that aren't getting to do what I get to do. And when I arrived, my kids got in the car and they felt this compassion and this appreciation. You guys, and our life has changed because of this get to attitude. So in that state of mind, it's really powerful. And here's the last thing about the get to principle. When you say I get to, a sense of being alive in the first place, of having this experience called life, we're having this. It's a miracle, it's magical. And when you say I get to, that wells up, the preciousness of this wells up inside of you. We're born and then we die. And in between, we get to do this thing called life. It's really cool. Look, when you're doing the dishes and you're hating it, there's a lot of dead people that would like to be doing dishes right now. That's not being glib, it's just really pointing out the preciousness of this thing that we get to have during our time on earth. In the end, instead of arguing with life, Everything the future needs is given to us in the moment. And using the get to, here you are. So I use the get to at the office. I think as we're all business people, one of the things that I've enjoyed is applying the get to principle at the office. One thing I've done is we're up on the 8th floor, so I have my team come in every morning and there's 4 to 6 of us. We gather, we stand in a circle, or we stand in the office. I set the timer for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes of quiet. You can call it meditation, prayer, or just being quiet. Doesn't matter. And some people would close their eyes, and some people would look out over the beautiful city of Hollywood from the 8th floor up there, or whatever. And then when the timer went off after 2 minutes, there we were, quiet together. And then we each took a moment to say something that we got to do, or something that we get to do. I got to hold my nephew for the first time last night. I got to, have a great moment with my girlfriend or with my boyfriend. Sometimes it's, I get to have that Mattel contract signed today. Or even, I get to call that nasty client. And we all laugh. I mean, there's a lot of laughing when you do this. And the other thing is, it really creates great business opportunities. I mean, after all, if you're sitting in the office saying, I get to do this, when your whole team is saying, I get to do this, your mind can't wait to create great things. And the call to the nasty client, it actually becomes fun. Wow, I get to, and the client feels that. It changes the whole dynamic. So that's the get to journey. It's simple. I promise it's powerful. Jimmy, I've known Jimmy for a while now, and Jimmy has used the get to way of being and loves it. And I thank you for attesting to that, Jimmy. Alyssa as well has been involved, and really we get that. So as I said before, I wrote a book. It's called Get to Be Happy. It's a journey of my life with the many ups and downs, many like we've all experienced. And I'm so lucky that it's gotten some great reviews. It should be out on 11/11/17. I'm in final edits. We'll see how that all works out. But it's really coming along nicely. I've been writing it for the last year and a half on the train. But here's the bottom line of the book, and actually the bottom line of the Get To principle. The choice to be happy in every moment is one of the most important decisions you can make in life. It's not easy. But we're not just happy at the whim of the outside world. We are happy because we choose to be, or not, in any given moment. There are challenges, for sure. I get it. And sometimes it's tough. But when I can, I choose to be happy. I, for one, am not going to let burnt toast keep me from being happy. I'm not going to let a guy or gal cutting me off on the freeway take me out of my choice to be happy. In fact, I say, bring it on, cut me off. You see if you can make me not happy. I'm in charge. And that's how I like to live. And I offer that to you. The choice is, we get to be happy. So that's it, you guys. Short, sweet. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Laron and Marlene, for putting this on and having me here. I'm very grateful for that. And this is the inaugural Get To Principle Talk. I'm going to be bringing it out to the world, and I'm very pleased to have you guys here. Thanks for getting up and making it happen. I am going to take questions, any comments. Be happy to do anything. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
How did you think of this Get To principle? When did it come to you?
Okay, so this is in the book, but I'm going to share it with you. My son and I, we were playing. This is about 2 years ago. My son and I was doing something in the living room. He said, "Daddy, let's play." I said, "Hang on, I got to go pee." As I was walking to the bathroom, as I walked, I said, "I don't gotta, I get to." And I went to the bathroom, and as I was walking, I'm like, well, I got to go play with. Well, no, I don't got to go play with. I get to go play with my boy. Oh my God, I get to do everything. And as I started thinking, it came up. And as I started thinking throughout the day, oh my God, this is how I've kind of lived my life. When it's been successful is when I've said somehow, oh, I get to do this. I don't have to. So that's where it came from. That was about 2 years ago. I was riding the train, and so one other thing that I'll tell you.
Blue Line North?
Actually, the Metrolink from Santa Ana up to downtown, and then the red line, beautiful red line to the W Hotel. Yes. So I was on the train soon after that listening to, Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. So her follow-up book is called Big Magic. That came out in 2014. I was listening to it on the train. I listened to a lot of books on tape on the train. And she said her book, Big Magic, was all about her journey as a writer and coming, and everything about that. And she made a comment as I was sitting there. Anybody can write. All you have to do is commit 30 minutes a day and write anything. Scribble. It doesn't matter. Just do it, and you will write. And it hit me. I clicked off. I opened my computer, the get to principle, and I started writing. And a year and a half later, and here we are.
Right.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions for me?
Well, I'm happy to say that I get to work at the Hollywood Chamber.
You get to work at the Hollywood Chamber.
I get to work with the best boss.
You do have probably the best boss.
I needed the get to principle to have that light bulb. I enjoy
Excellent.
it a lot.
I love that,
You
Marlene.
gotta put it into words.
Yeah, thank
It
you.
makes so much sense.
Thank you. That's great.
Right.
And I'm really excited for you to read the book. It is really, it's got, I don't want to be boastful, but it's gotten great reviews, and just the principle itself and how it's there, it just kind of flowed out, whatever. And I think you'll really enjoy it. I think it really hits home on wow, this is how to apply it in life.
So who published it for you, and where is it in regular bookstores?
So I'm self-publishing on Amazon.com. So by about November 11th, you'll be able to go to Amazon.com. And if you go to my website, you each have my card. If you go to tedlarkins.com and you put your name and email in there, then I will send you updates on the exact publishing date of the book, and you'll be able to buy it on Amazon. Yeah.
And he is on Instagram. Get to Be
I'm on
Happy.
Instagram, Get to Be Happy. I'm on Facebook, Get to Be Happy. LinkedIn, Get to Be Happy. So you can follow me on all those. I have Twitter, but I'm not really a Twitter guy, so I'm not really sure.
Twitter is really fun. Think of Twitter like a cocktail party.
Oh,
You get to do Twitter.
I get to do
You
Twitter.
get to put a cute little note, and then other people get to come.
Okay, I have it. I have Get to. If you know what? I hereby do Twitter just for you.
That's
Thank you for
what
that
it's
impetus.
about.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Like a
what
cocktail
it's
party.
like a cocktail
Yeah,
party.
hey.
It's like, oh, I just have to say something to somebody, and then they say something back to me, and blah, blah.
Oh, that's great.
It's fun.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to do that. Yeah. So I'm bringing it'll be out, and I'll be speaking more and selling books and all that.
Yes.
So
On Kindle?
it will be it will come out as a paperback and on Kindle to start. I'm working on an audiobook that will come out soon after that.
That's great.
Me and my
Yes.
Kindle.
What's that?
and my Kindle.
You and your Kindle. I understand. So that's going to be out there. Yeah. Jason.
My question is kind of, I feel what's most effective about this approach, if you will.
Yes.
Is that it can draw on, or maybe has drawn on, several different kinds of influences. You mentioned
Yes.
Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yeah, Elizabeth Gilbert.
Are you familiar with Dr. Brene Brown?
Yep,
And
Brene
her
Brown.
work on vulnerability.
Yep, her work
And
is great.
I think what's very key to what you're talking about is really that practice of gratitude.
That-
she speaks on it.
Yes,
very,
she
very
does.
commonly.
Yes.
And it's that fact that we live in a vulnerable world,
Yes.
and yet if we practice gratitude daily, we can really have joy and pleasure in life
It's-
without having to say deal with the uncomfortable nature of vulnerability.
It's
I
so
guess- I
true.
guess what I'm
It's
curious
beautiful.
about is
Yeah.
What other influences are you drawing on from this, and how that, I guess, rounds out the Get To principle?
My life, we've all had a life up to this moment that's filled with joys and sorrows, everything in between, right? And so in my life experiences, I had an enlightenment experience when I was in Japan. I lived in Japan for 9 years, as I said. I had an enlightenment. So I went to the temples in Hiroshima, the Zen temples, to meditate, trying to figure it out. I was raised a Lutheran Christian, and so I draw on those teachings. I went to India. I met Mother Teresa and had some incredible experiences there. My daughter died at birth about 13 years ago. It was a powerful experience. And if I have to, or I get to. And the beauty that came from that experience, I hung out with Bon Jovi and partied. Talk about a get to experience. I mean, it was wild. So I've drawn from many of those. My best friend, Nick, he passed away, and I was with him when that happened. But then along with that, my son was born, and right there, and my daughter was born, and the midwives didn't show up, and I delivered the baby. Oh my God, and life, just all of it.
Getting to have challenges.
Getting to have challenges, yeah, and not running from them, but getting to have them and stepping into that, I think, is what we're missing a lot of. It's resisting it and staying closed, and how I have to and I don't want to, as opposed to I get to.
And also your call to action empowers us to draw on our own experiences. We can't say, hey, I get to experience this if I don't or haven't.
No.
But to then do that, or to say, I got to do this.
I think that's exactly right, Jason. I think.
And it's very interesting. We share similarities, and I got to go to Japan
Oh, excellent.
and make a movie there. You know, some
Yeah.
beautiful things like that
Yeah.
you can draw upon within your life, and if you
Exactly.
made something of it, or you can say,
Yeah.
I had to do something that was uncomfortable, or I had
Yeah.
to do something that was painful.
Yeah.
Spinning it, and I got to do something that challenged me.
That's a great point, Jason. And what I would suggest to everybody as you walk away from here is looking at your past and saying, changing the narrative of, oh, I had to go through that, or that was tough, and just shifting it and say, wow, I got to, and then seeing where your mind and where your attitude goes from there. And then today, as you're about to have to do the various things you're about to have to do, just get to, smile, and do them. And I promise, the whole way life works changes from that mindset. That's my experience.
It's also not a complacency. I don't feel like you're encouraging us to be complacent. Like, hey, just do it. It sucks.
Oh, no.
Because if you're approaching it with a get-to attitude, it doesn't suck.
No, right. No, it is what it is. This is
It is what it is. And
Yeah.
I think we hear that way too often in this world.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You just got to live with it. What is that going to do for you?
Yeah, no, right.
Can I also make a comment about the chocolate experience?
Yes.
Regardless of the chocolate, that smile. Yeah, you do smile. The minute you actually say, I get to, then comes joy with it. And this morning I was telling myself, I get to go to the office early. And all of a sudden I was smiling and I was cheerful and I found myself, let's do this.
That is fantastic, right? That's what it is. And honestly, when you say I get to, you do have that. And then when you deliberately smile, it's a proven scientific thing. I don't know what they are, the endorphins, but when you smile, you don't have to wait for the world. You smile, others around you smile, you feel joy. It's how it works. We just forget.
Attitude attracts.
Exactly.
And that attitude is going to attract good and better people, I think,
Exactly.
in your lives that you're the example of.
Yes.
And therefore, bringing about this connection we
Yes.
speak of, and
Yeah.
that connection begets success, that connection begets joy, all
Yeah.
those things that come from it.
Yeah.
That's what we look for.
Exactly.
Well,
Excellent. Well
do you
done.
guys mind if we do that instead of 2-minute exercise? Maybe that we keep it like 1 minute and get ourselves to stay
I would-
in silence and maybe have.
You want to do a 1 minute get to meditation? Everybody, do we still have time?
I'd say 2 minutes. Let's do 2 minutes.
Laurent, you good?
I'm fine.
Okay, Alyssa, do you have a 2-minute timer there?
I've got you.
Oh, I think Jason's got it. 2 minutes. So the exercise is simply you close your eyes or stare out, whatever you want to do, and just spend this 2 minutes quiet. And go. That's it. Okay. Excellent. So I'll start by saying, and I'll suggest that we each take turns saying it, but I got to speak to the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. I've got incredible gratitude for that. Just really, I got to do that. Wow. Jimmy.
I got to think about all the things that I get to do every day.
Nice. Nice. Jason.
I get to spend the rest of this beautiful Friday, less hot, with people that I love, and I get to watch the Dodgers beat the Astros tonight.
Nice.
When I closed my eyes, I thought about that song, Hallelujah, come on, get happy. That was going through my head. But I had the most fabulous idea this morning, and I'm writing a song, and I'm going to put it on YouTube, and it's going to be fabulous. So I get to do that.
That's great. Wonderful. Nor.
I got to go home and study for my midterm.
Nice. It's a whole different attitude than you have to.
I was going to say something that I felt it doesn't really change your attitude, but it changes the outcome of what you're good at.
Yeah,
So
it does.
just saying I get to do the homework.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Great. Thank you. Alyssa.
I feel grateful because I feel like I needed a little refresher course. That's why I really appreciate it. It's really good.
Excellent. Thank you, Alyssa. Dean.
I cheated.
Cheating's good. You got to cheat.
I did.
It's all good. Okay.
Yeah, I just realized that I have so many distractions. Like even the 2 minute, I opened my eyes like 2 times. I'm like, damn. Be in the moment a little more.
Oh, that's great. Hey, if that's what it's for, you know, if you meditate for 2 minutes, if you get 5 seconds of quiet, that's pretty cool. That's good. Good for you. What do you get to do today?
Today, well, I get to meet my editor, finish my feature film. So I finally took some meeting with her today. Then I get to go to come here and go to this other business activity a little bit. So.
Awesome. Fabulous.
Well, I get to hear my friend Ted Larkins launch his new career. Someday I will get to see him on Tonight or the Today Show.
Yeah.
Get to principal.
Thank you. Marlene?
I just realized that I got to hug the people that I love. I got to talk to the people that I love. I got to kiss to the people I love, and then I get to do the things that I love. I have a magazine that I get to finish.
It's great. Beautiful. Awesome. How's that for a way to start the day? You guys, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.